Welcome to your mat. Let's just take a couple of seconds to just move through our spine and get the body moving for the day. I'm calling this a wake-up flow, and it's just a couple of moments. So we'll just sit, hopefully cross-ankled, feels comfortable on your hips. Options to stick a block under your bum, or if it's really just not feeling good, extend your legs, because the point is to feel comfortable and relaxed. And we'll just close our eyes for a few moments. Let the arms just rest comfortably on your knees or your lap, and make sure the shoulders are relaxed down. Check in with where your neck is aligned over your shoulders and over your pelvis. I invite you to keep those eyes closed and just take a couple of nice smooth breaths in through your nostrils. Just setting the tone to be present for a few moments here before your day officially begins, when you'll be called on to do lots of things, make decisions, do, and here we're just gonna be for a little bit. So take another nice couple of deep full breaths. Feel your bones aligned in space. Think about your spine being in a vertical shape. Although there's some curves and some bony protrusions, it's more or less crown, neck, right through the spine, and then an even placement of those sit bones right to left. And we'll take a nice big inhale on our next breath, circling those arms straight up over your shoulders. And then turn to your right, letting your left hand land on your knee, and use your right fingertips behind your back to perch yourself up taller. Pull yourself to the right, maybe look over that right shoulder. And then bring your head to a neutral position so your chin is more or less pointing where your knee is pointing, and then tilt your left ear to your left shoulder. This might be a little sticky, so don't jam there. Just let yourself feel that sensation. And if it's not feeling good, just like everything we're doing, don't do it, or find a way that it does feel good. So we'll just take one more breath, and then be very, very cautious getting out of this. If your ear is tilted to your left shoulder, just lift the chin up to neutral. Let's bring both arms back up over your head. Make sure you're lifting through your belly muscles to support your spine, changing directions. Let your right hand press against your left knee, and use your left hand to perch yourself up a little bit taller. Once you're tall, then begin the rotation of your neck. Your neck is more mobile than any of the joints in your spine. So if we take our neck and jam it over there far, the lower back, which is the least mobile, is gonna wanna follow. And that gets us into trouble. So once you've had that nice look across your left shoulder, bring your chin back to a neutral position where you're more or less pointing towards your left knee, and then tilt your right ear to your right shoulder. Do this very cautiously. There are days where the neck, don't even know it, but it's having a bad day until you try to do something, and that's when you figure it out. So don't force it. Just like a good friend, when they're having a bad day, you're just like, you don't say to them, get out of it, get over it, what's your problem? You're like, what can I do to make you feel better today? And then lifting your chin up to a neutral position, and then unwinding, arms come up overhead. You might even look up between your hands, and then just dive over your legs in front of you. If your chins are crossed, that should be comfortable enough to let your hands land. If your legs are extended, just place them where it's comfortable, those arms, and then try to let your chin drop towards your chest, just hanging the neck. So letting the weight of that 8 or 9 pound ball called a head kind of pull your torso down, and we're just breathing into the back body. I had a student yesterday say, boy, I'm so glad I came to class today because I was feeling grumpy and in a bad mood, and now I feel better. So, just let your body be. Don't force it to be anything other than it is in the moment. And I'm guaranteeing you, after you go through this little bitty practice, you will feel better. Take one more breath. And then we're going to walk our hands upright. If your ankles are crossed, change the crossing of them. If they're extended and you want to shuffle and move a little bit more comfortably, do that, just so you feel like you can be comfortable sitting up nice and tall. We're going to reach those arms up to the sky again on a big old inhale, and then a side bend to the right. So let's remember that the spine, when it's healthy, supple, and good shape, let's say, it moves in 6 directions. Twisting to the right and left, we've already done. And then we got the side bend to the right and left. So let's head on over to the other one. So number 4, way the spine moves, side bending to the left now. Just keeping the chest open. Sometimes I see that arm that's supporting you, the shoulder hug up by the ear. Try to drop that down and then find the extension of your spine more than the bend of it, yeah? Take another breath there, and then inhaling those arms up, you might look up. And then the fifth way is that forward fold. When you bring your chest towards your legs, whether you're standing, seated, laying on your back, it's a forward fold. It's opening up the back body. Just let it open organically. So don't jam yourself down there. You'll know if you are jamming because your breath will tell you. It'll get choppy, it'll get shallow. You might even hold it. And then while you're there, relaxing as much as you can. Notice where you tend to hold your tension. Up by your shoulders, maybe you clench your jaw a little bit. Try to remind yourself to relax into those positions right now. Nice big inhale. Let that exhale go all the way down to your tailbone. And then we'll slide ourselves up. And we're just going to take a little stretch to the backs of our legs. So extending your right leg out in front of you, tuck your left foot into your inner thigh, flexing the leg that's extended and a little micro bend. And if you're real tight, maybe a bigger bend, but just getting the shoulders to be over the hips and the spine, nice again, vertical. Reach up, take a big inhale, and then head on over towards your foot or your shin or your leg or wherever you're able to comfortably catch your foot or leg. And then look forward. I usually walk my bum back a little. That's just going to create a little more length in your lower back. And then fold. And again, keeping that knee soft. And here, now that we're in the position and we're not moving, you can relax your extended leg. You don't have to flex that foot real hard. I like to take a breath or two, letting my body just kind of realize and feel the stretch. And then if I feel like activating, encouraging, I never want to say push, encouraging myself to be a little more deeper into the pose, I might take my left elbow and just lightly rest it on the inner knee of my left leg. So that's just encouraging that inner thigh to open. I'll feel a little more stretch into the glute on that left side. Notice if your neck tenses up when you do these things. These are all just indications you're pushing and forcing when the neck or the shoulders or your secret spots of tension come into play. And we're just breathing a couple of breaths there. And then very gently just bring yourself upright and get to do this on the other side. So no expectations, no judgment about this side versus the other side. I'll remind you, keeping the front knee soft, extending the spine up, just let that opposite knee that's bent flop open naturally, lift out of that lower back like you're gonna pass something beyond your foot, whether you can reach there or not, but you're just extending over the leg. Grab a hold of your leg somewhere, or you can even use the ground, but you use that to walk your bum back a little and bring your chest a little more forward, and then folding in and then letting your head drop, your foot relax, your shoulders sink, even your belly gets to soften here, and just breathing into the back of your whole body. The backs of your legs, the low back, the spine, the neck. And then nice deep breaths into the backs of your lungs. So it's nice fluid breaths, really just cleaning out that stagnant air maybe at the bottom of your lungs. Taking one more breath there. And then we'll slowly roll up. You can stretch both of your legs out in front of you, give those knees a little bit of a shake, and if you're feeling like you want to just engage a little bit of your core, we'll flex the legs so that we have an anchor for the hips when we move our spine. Sit up tall, you can extend your arms, and if you need to, you can just bend your knees and roll down normally. Otherwise, just take a nice long, slow roll, just feeling the abdominal muscles support you. Do your very best to not fall, and if you do, maybe hold the backs of your thighs if you need a little assistance. And then placing the hands by your sides, walk your feet towards your bum. You're wondering, we've done 5 ways our spine moves. What's that 6th way? It's a back bend. So hands open like a down dog. Relax your toes, press into the balls and the heels of your feet as you just curl your hips up off the mat. Walk your shoulder blades not only towards each other, but down a little bit towards your heels. And then I usually need to realign my feet just a little bit. And then we're not clenching our glute muscles here, but we're really just driving with the thighs, trying to, believe it or not, soften them. They're gonna work because that's the nature of the job to get you in this position. And then relax your neck. You can close your eyes and just feel your spine arcing back, your front body opening. And then maybe after a breath or so, you might find you can rock your shoulders a little close together, even interlacing your palms. But don't force that. If your elbows are super bent, that's basically your shoulder's way of saying, no, thank you, we're just not ready for that right now. So whatever part of your arm is on the ground, really drive it down. Believe it or not, your arms and legs are the drivers in this pose. And then take one more full breath. So that 6th way that spine moved. And then releasing the hands if they're interlaced, and just articulate your spine as you curl it down, just feeling each bone land. Take a nice little windshield wiper of those knees. And then let one of those windshield wipers flip you over onto your belly. A little bonus round back bend here. So extending those legs so that the toes are really pointing. I'll even pick up the legs one at a time so that they're really long legs. Extending your arms by your sides like jet wings, palms facing the ground. Keep your hands on the ground. Just lift your legs, straight knees up. Try to roll those inner thighs in. Then lift your shoulder blades up. Pinch them together a little bit. Try to find the length of your neck so you're not jamming your chin up and you're not letting it hang either. But it's that nice trajectory from your lower back up to a nice curve, and then floating those arms up, and then really use your arms and legs like we did when we were facing upward. Turn the arms out to the side like a T, thumbs pointing up, and see if you can lift just a little higher. How's your breath? And then if you want, reaching those arms over Superman style, and really, really drive those arms up, palms face each other, thumbs pointing towards your ceiling, and then just relax. Give your hips a little wiggle. Let's be mindful transitioning, taking the hands next to your shoulders, tuck your toes, lift onto your knees, and make your way to our first downward dog. Not doing much today, it's just a little warm up, a little good morning for your body. I'm pedaling my feet, just finding my back body opening, and then find a little bit of stillness where your palms are extending, wide open fingers, heads dangling between those arms, shoulders pressing away from your ears, little bend in the knees, always. Keeping the joints slightly bent or soft allows the muscles to hug on those bones to support them. If you lack out your joints, the muscles kind of hang off the bones. So belly's in. Just taking a nice deep breath here. If you're feeling it, you might raise your right leg up to the sky, keeping the hips square, bending the knee, opening the hip. Maybe take your head and look up over a shoulder and see if you can see those toes that are hanging down there on the other side of your body. And then releasing that. And do the other side, doesn't matter. Pick your favorite, go first, feel that. Bend the knee, open the hip, no judgment. This is my less mobile leg, but it's just feeling good to move it this morning. And then re-extending it if you've got that up there. Planting, take one more good breath in your downward facing dog. And then we're just gonna pick up our hands. So we're mindfully moving our hands backwards to our feet till the heels land. Just taking an easy forward fold. Let the head dangle free. You might even shake out your neck a little bit. And a slow roll to stand. Maybe the arms start to circle out and around, up over your head. Grab that left wrist, give yourself a sweet little side bend. Come to center, do the other side. Come to center, last little back bend, and then hands to your heart. Have an awesome day.